Alrighty, boys and girls, welcome back to the Mexicanaza show. We're gonna be talking about the Inter Miami game that we just saw versus Columbus Crew, ending 2-2, a draw, and I think let's just get right into it. The simplest way to describe this is that it felt like a loss. At the end, it was uh, a massive missed opportunity. Miami had the chance to win this match, move to level with Nashville at the top of the league, and build some momentum before the League's Cup match that we have against Atletico San Luis next Wednesday. Instead, we failed to finish. We failed to finish the match. Lost control. Dropped too deep. I think. I got too relaxed and allowed Columbus to get away with the point. There are positives. Messi's back. He got back to training. We saw him, I think, yesterday or the day before. And De Paul is back as well. Suarez played an incredible match. Yannick Bright played well. And there was a debut for Caicedo, the kid, 18 years old. Looks really exciting. Good young player. He played really well at center back. But overall, this feels like we lost 2 points instead of getting the point for drawing. It feels like a loss. But let me start with the midfield because for me, the biggest problem in the game was the midfield. I don't think Casemiro played well at all. He was very poor. He looked slow. He was late in certain situations. He didn't protect the defense in the way Miami needed him to. And when you have a player in the defensive midfield position, especially in a game that becomes that stretched, we already know he's not that same player from years ago. He's not the fastest player. Um, but you need him to recognize the danger early, and you need him to close the spaces and win the second balls and stop counterattacks before they develop. And he just wasn't doing enough of that tonight. And there were moments where Columbus were able to move through the midfield far too easily. It really the game broke. The game broke open once Messi came on, and there was basically no midfield. Um, and that was probably the biggest problem. There was too much space. Um, Columbus couldn't pick up the ball, turn. Columbus could pick up the ball, turn, and immediately run at Miami's backline because the game was just broken. Too many spaces is back and forth, end to end, and I mean sometimes games turn out like that, but that's when you need the midfield to do something. Also, in the midfield, we had De Paul come back, and we saw him in the World Cup, and he didn't have the best game today either. He was tired coming off from the World Cup run that he had with Argentina. Um, Tired legs. He's not completely match fit, and you can see that he didn't have his normal energy. But we also saw this in the World Cup, and this is something that's alarming to me because when we started the World Cup, De Paul didn't have a good start to the World Cup. He never got on in the World Cup, and that was concerning. I said, "Oh wow, surely De Paul will find himself at some point in the World Cup and be that player that we know him to be." But he never did, and that was extremely concerning. And we see that again in Miami. But he's coming off of the World Cup run, so that could be a thing. But I'm just concerned about DePaul. Maybe he has dropped in level. He's getting a little bit older, but he has dropped maybe in that level that we saw him at in 2022, 23, 24. And that's a little bit of concern for De Paul because he's usually everywhere. He presses, he demands the ball, covers ground, he helps the team move up the field. But he misses a lot of passes now. He isn't fit. He's tired legs, but he had the same type of performance in the World Cup, which was concerning. Uh, and Yannick Bright, on the other hand, he was good. He had energy, physicality. He was urgent on the ball. He covered ground. Competed for second balls, loose balls, and try to help regain some of that control when the game became a little bit chaotic. And that brings me to the main tactical issue I noticed when Messi came on. Miami obviously becomes more dangerous with Messi. You always have to have Messi on the field, always, always, always. But his presence changes the entire feeling of the match. He's incredible to have on. Defenders become super nervous. The midfield starts dropping deeper. You give him the ball, you control the game. Every touch is a is a possibility of scoring. He makes stuff happen. He's special, right? But there's also the fact that Suarez was already tired when Messi came on, and you don't have either tracking back, and that's when the game also broke open because there was a lot of spaces in midfield, especially because the game became more open and the midfield was too close to the defenders for both sides. So Columbus also had this issue. It was just the posture the game took naturally. But because of that, the players behind them had to have incredible discipline, and the midfield had to work harder, right? In defense, especially. And Miami didn't do that tonight, and that was probably the biggest issue that I saw. Miami would attack, lose the ball a little bit, and we didn't control the match at the end. We have to close out the match, see out the match, control the match, and the match took its natural posture by itself because nobody controlled it, and that obviously favored Columbus Crew. Um, it might have been really entertaining for a neutral, but for Inter Miami, not controlling the match is an issue. I'd rather have a boring end 2-1 than a 2-2 because at 2-1 Miami should have understood it. You don't have to stop attacking, but you need to control the game. You have to keep the ball, make Columbus chase it, slow down the tempo, make smart fouls, force them away, and not allow it to become the chaos that it did. A wide open match, back and forth, end to end. We don't want that. So we allowed it to break apart, and that's dangerous because when you have a Columbus Crew that is actually quality and can hurt you. They have dangerous players. We saw that tonight, and I mean, you never want to allow a team back in, so you want to control it, and that's also why I think Mascherano and the coaching staff deserve some criticism. This felt like a Mascherano game because it became obvious that Columbus were finding too much space. So Ojos has a little bit of flack there for me. But I also think it's just the posture the game took. But the players should have understood what was happening and moved the ball a bit faster because Miami at 2-1, Messi comes on, a lot of dangerous opportunities. didn't concrete. He had one chance that Suarez puts in a beautiful ball over the top. Messi controls it with his chest on the volley, shoots, and it goes just wide of the post. Um, that was a really good opportunity, but it seemed everything Messi was touching was an opportunity. So Miami kind of felt okay. We can relax. We can control the game, but they actually have to get on the ball to control the game. So they relaxed too much and gave the ball over to Columbus Crew, who doesn't mind having the ball at their feet. So we never really regained control after those couple of opportunities, and we had at least 3 or 4 clear opportunities. Um, there was a really good Suarez opportunity um, that could have made it 3-1. There was that Messi volley that I was talking about. There was a chaotic series of rebounds that fell to Mikael, and he just couldn't put it in the back of the net 1-on-1 with the keeper. I mean, unfortunate. And with the score being 3-1, the match is probably finished at that point, but we couldn't put it away. So you have to close out the game with the ball, but Columbus got on it and hurt us on the counter a lot. So Suarez had a really good game. Minute 16, he scores an incredible goal, um, chipping the keeper from like 40 yards, 45 yards out because he was um, too far forward. And it was just an incredible goal. What a phenomenal goal. At minute 34, Casemiro scores an own goal trying to cut out a low cross in the box. Unfortunately, it goes in, but that was already a sign of his poor game. But that was also just really unfortunate. And then Suarez also has a really good play off on the right side of the area. Columbus Crew. He puts in a beautiful cross for Noah Allen, who puts it away at 45 plus 5 minutes. And then at minute 84, we get a Casemiro foul near the box, and Mendes sends in a cross for Columbus Crew off that foul. It passes through everybody's heads, never touches anybody, and it slots into the bottom right of uh, Rocco Novos's goal, hits the post and in. He has a bit of responsibility for not following the trajectory of the ball, because even if a Columbus Crew player, let's say, gets just a barely a little touch on it and deflects it and goes still to the bottom right of the goal, he can react, but he stayed on his line, really stuck on his line. So there's a little bit of responsibility, but not much at all. So there's a lot of people that are upset with Novos, and they don't like the fact that he has some mistakes in all 3 of Miami's last matches, and they're asking for St. Clair to be put in goal. We'll see what happens. Ojos did actually talk about this. Somebody asked him in a press conference just before the match yesterday, I believe, on why starting Novos over St. Clair, and it's because Ojos said that the way Miami wants to play, the way they're oriented to play, is leaving some space in behind, and some teams can take advantage of that, and Novos is there for that. He also plays really well with his feet, so they say Novos fits the team better than St. Clair does. But we'll see how that turns out going forward, considering that in the last 3 matches, Novos did have 3 pretty big mistakes. Suarez's goal tonight also is his 10th MLS season goal of 2026. and that means he has scored at least 10 goals, league match goals, in each of his three Inter Miami seasons. So in 2024, 20, and last year he scored 10, and so far he scored 10 in 2026. So he became the first Inter Miami player to reach the double digit MLS goals in three consecutive seasons. So that's huge for Suarez. More Inter Miami history tonight for Luis Suarez. Phenomenal from Suarez. That being said, the team's mentality at the end, Miami fell asleep. Instead of playing the final minutes with confidence, they began defending the results, and we know what comes later. Minute 84, Mendes scores, and at stoppage time, we had a phenomenal opportunity with the ball put in behind the defenders. Um, Messi gets on the end of it, heads the ball, and their keeper makes the save in stoppage time. Incredible chance to make it 3-2, and if he didn't get a finger on it, that would have gone in. Messi tried to put it over the top and kind of like chipped the goalie with a header, but it just didn't go in. And the game ends 2-2. Frustrating, frustrating, frustrating 2 points lost. Miami had a chance to tie Nashville. Now it's gonna be a little bit harder to get into first place for those playoff positions, but we are second and 2 points off of Nashville. So we'll see how the MLS league continues. But Leagues Cup is coming up. That's going to be huge. We got to start off well in Leagues Cup. We got Atletico San Luis coming up on Wednesday, and it's important. It's important to get these next points coming up because we're in group stages. We gotta classify. We gotta qualify, and these next games are do or die. These are massive games. The good news is we got Messi back. We got De Paul. We got Casemiro starting. We got the El Pibe Caicedo. So there's a lot of good coming up for Miami. Disappointing loss. Disappointing tie, but feels like a loss. But missed opportunity. And we'll continue because the Leagues Cup is coming up. And I'm excited for that. But boys, I'm gonna thank you for listening. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And we'll see what's coming up. Central plays tomorrow, I think, against River Plate. We'll do a review on that once the game ends tomorrow as well. But boys, thank you for listening. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Aguante Central. Aguante Argentina. Aguante USA. Aguante Inter Miami. And I'll see you for the next one, boys. Thank you.